honestly, it is quite interesting. Let's go ahead and go get into it since you mentioned it. Yeah, he's still up for that job, and from just a coaching perspective, everybody has said nothing but good things about him. He's under the
Yep.
Belichick tree. He's definitely tenured guy. He's been coaching for a while. Um,
Had success. Like,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
a lot of guys, a lot of players have talked about him. Like, he's one of those guys that just, helps you to believe in yourself, helps you to give you a shot. One of the
right.
stories that came out from Ninkovich, one of the guys that played for the Patriots, is that the move to put in Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks was his move. He
Oh,
said,
wow.
I'm going with this guy. The other guy was getting burnt all up and down the field. Obviously, we know the story about Malcolm Butler, game winning interception, giving Brady one of his mini rings.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's just, I didn't know that. When I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Are you serious? So, what do you think
Wow.
about this? I'll talk about my.
It's kind of crazy to me that he's a finalist for the Texans job because he's essentially suing his potential employer almost.
Right, right.
Like, so it's weird how it's a weird dynamic, I think, that's going on. I really didn't think he was going to get a job. Not that he didn't deserve one, but because of what he was doing. And he even alluded to it, saying, I know I'm sacrificing my career as a coach because I'm going to go ahead and move forward to this, but I think it's the right thing to do, which absolutely it is based off of what he said. And if all that's true, I mean, he should obviously it should be corrected in his favor. But yeah, it's a wild situation going on down there. I do have a question. Like, obviously, there's the issue that is going on with it being. I mean, Tomlin is the only black coach in the NFL. There's 32 teams, and 77% of players are black. So the discrepancy there is quite evident. I know the Rooney Rule obviously isn't working based off of this exact lawsuit. If you don't know, quick recap is the Giants. He was supposed to go in for a Giants interview. He was texted by Bill Belichick, thinking, according to the report, is Bill Belichick thought it was Brian Daboll, congratulating him on getting the job, and Brian Flores hadn't even interviewed yet, meaning they were just interviewing Brian Flores to appease the Rooney Rule, which is, if you don't know, you have to anytime there's a head coaching position in the NFL, you have to interview a minority head coach before you make a hire. And it's to up the diversity of the head coaching position, not just to have an interview, which is exactly what the Giants did, making it, or Bill Belichick alluded to, saying that the Giants were going to hire Daboll before Flores even had an interview. They were just bringing him in to check the box of that rule, which is obviously wrong. So I have I want to throw it out there, see what your thoughts are. What do you think is a better solution for that? Because clearly the rule, I think, was put in place for a good reason, but it's not working if that's what teams are going to do.
Right. And honestly, with every rule, there's a loophole. And when you have, big wigs and heads of business like this, they'll find that loophole if necessary. And their excuse will be, we just want to hire the best person for the job. When in all honesty, that's not true, because Leftwich doesn't have a job. Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a job. Caldwell got fired after 1 year. And it's kind of like, ugh. Now I don't jump on board with the Cole Cauley thing, because I don't think Cauley for the Texans last year I think he was just plug and play, put somebody in there. Yeah, because there's so much going on there. And
With
that
Watson.
is, that's why I was okay with Flores being there, because of the Watson situation.
Right.
I was like, they have a connection or whatever. Personally, beforehand it was worse. So do you need the rule? I believe so. I think to this point now, a lot of these things have happened where teams are like, hey, we'll bring this guy and never, ever have even an inkling of a thought like, yes, we're going to hire this guy, and that stinks. That is one thing. Another part of the lawsuit, though, is that he came out that the Dolphins owner tried to pay him $100K to lose games to get a better draft pick. Now, we've heard about tanking in the NFL and things of that nature, but for that to happen, because
that's bad.
And that is it just shows the integrity of Brian Flores, where he said, I'm not going to do that. Right. You know what I mean? And then Fitz has come out about the Browns coach, the same
Hugh
situation.
Jackson.
Right. So
he said he got paid $50,000 to tank. Now, granted, he tanked for Baker Mayfield, which is questionable, but anyway, he still paid to tank.
He's a Heisman. I mean, the best lead man in the commercial ever, man.
Exactly. But yeah, there's so many things wrong with tanking, and like where the NFL is heading and what has been changing over the last couple of years in the NFL landscape over across America. The fact that sports gambling is becoming a thing. I mean, we're throwing it in our shows because everybody's trying to get into it. And it's like, I mean, the Caesars Sportsbook is paying $7 million for a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl to promote their sportsbook. Like sports gambling is so massive. So if you have teams not holding up the integrity of the game and playing to win, which is, I mean, why do we play the game? We play to win. Exactly. Like that's exactly. So if you're intentionally tanking, that's just not a good look at all for the NFL. And if more people come out and say that, that's bad news all the way around.
Yeah, no, it's not good. It's absolutely not good. Now on the flip side, it has given people an opportunity, kind of similar to your coach Tomlin got the opportunity and has not looked back. And if Absolutely. You have situations like that where you win and win and win, they can't do anything but leave you in there and continue to get that job on top of the fact that he's a good guy. So, unfortunately, I think kind of similar to the Kaepernick situation, Brian Flores is going to be a martyr. And, I think they're going to it is shocking to hear that he still is in line for the Texans job. But let's be honest, the Texans are in dire straits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's different. He's not the martyr because I hope more people like Hugh Jackson instantly came out and said the same thing, kind of backed those claims, and hopefully more do for at least the coaching side of it, the racial discrimination side of it, to make it so he's not alone. Because if he is the only one, then they can easily make him a martyr and say the claims are false. But the more people that get behind him, the NFL has to acknowledge it, I believe, at some point.
Yeah, I totally agree. But look, like Ash said, man, we're trying to talk solutions. We know the history. We already know what the whole situation is. And talking about the problem over and over and over is not going to solve the problem. You have to talk about how we can fix it. What are our next steps? What are some examples that we can follow? You know what I mean? Right. To get to where we want to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have any examples or any solutions, hit us up, put it in the chat.
Because I'm really, really curious for sure to see what, because that's just complaining that something's wrong, and then even just complaining about the Rooney Rule if it's not working. Solutions are more. If you get a good solution out there, people go viral on TikTok for dumber things. I promise. You get something out there and everybody gets behind it, and that gets blown up. I guarantee everybody starts seeing it. More people agree with it. It'll go. It's just I need. What's that one?
Yeah, honestly, probably need a new generation of owners.
That's a good one. The problem. So I've thought about this back and forth, and I'd love to have the conversation with you because I agree that new generation of owners would help a lot.
Yeah.
The problem is they own it. Like it's their own. They don't have to give it up. Now you could be forced out if you do wrong, which I think the Dolphins might be forced out, which is good. But NFL teams don't come up for sale every day. Like then when they do, it takes a lot of money to get it. So
yes.
I like that idea. Absolutely. But I don't know how else to get that going besides paying a lot of money, buying them out, which is billions of dollars. So
right. Now that Denver spot is available, so there is position to do that. But I agree. That was Dalton who said that. Kyle said maybe it doesn't go to GMs, maybe it goes to the board where the head coach is voted in, having a fair representation, given equal basis on history and work. There you go. But that's what's up. Let's continue to have these conversations so we can start to get this. I said last night, if crossover people like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan show how to create ownership, it can start some good talk. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, right there. That's 3 separate, at least attempts at a solution. And at this day and age, instead of arguing about what we know, let's get to that place where we can say, hey, how can we change this? How can we make it better for the next generation that's going to come after us, that's going to love this game as much as we do?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's good, fellas? Been watching for a minute, trying to fix the door on the dryer. Well, we don't have a solution for that. So, but yo, we have got. Oh, you want to say more thing?
No, I was just gonna. I mean, just a little tidbit on the owner thing, which the Denver job is. I think ownership is going to go into more like investment groups, which is kind of what's going on with the Denver job, which could very well be good things because it's not just one owner being like the guy. Like Peyton Manning's involved in 2 different investment groups trying to buy the Broncos. So that just means there's a group of people that will own it, and you're not just fighting that one guy that doesn't like or doesn't want to follow the rules and do it the wrong way type thing.
Yeah. Kyle said, I think Raheem Morris can make a case too. Should have been head coach some time ago. I agree. He's had many chances at interim coach, I believe. Wasn't he interim coach for you guys for a little bit in the Falcons, Kyle? So I know he was at Tampa Bay for a little bit. So could be. We shall see. And this is a great conversation to have, and I definitely think we should continue this conversation at a later day to try to figure out what we can do
for sure
to fix the issue.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. The conversation is what will make change, though, for sure. So